Good afternoon, my people. What is going on, Wealth Our Way Nation? It is your main man, Charles Tank Harris. I am the founder and chief visionary officer of the financial literacy platform Wealth Our Way, where our motto is wealth is not only for the wealthy. I welcome each and every one of you to episode 129 as we continue the Home Buyers Workshop. We are in week 3, but before we get into all of that, let me practice the attitude of gratitude and say thank you to each and every one of you who are here with me live as I stream across the Wealth Our Way Facebook and YouTube platforms. On YouTube, remember, we are Wealth Our Way Network. I want to give the Wealth Our Way Nation salute to all the members of Wild Nation who watch this program pre-recorded overnight, over the weekend, on their lunch break, wherever you can squeeze 15 minutes of financial literacy in. And then a heartfelt how are you to the good folks on the Life 101 platform who listen to the audio recording of this very here program. We are keeping Home Buyers Workshop Month going. I am so happy with what we've done so far. We are in week 3, recapping. Week 1, we had the brother Mike Headley from the Headley Real Estate Group. Last week, we had my girl, Liz Paris from Movement Mortgage, talking about getting smoothly through the mortgage process. Tomorrow night, I'm super geeked to announce we have, for all of you younger people, for all the people who say I'm maybe out of touch, I'm a little gray, we got Millennials Making Sense founder Diana Reeves coming on to talk to us about the importance of working with a realtor. I know I'm guilty. I'm on Trulia, Zillow, Realtor.com looking for cribs. But when it's time to actually make an offer, when it's time to see if the numbers make sense, I work with a professional. I'm encouraging you to as well. So tomorrow night, we will have Diana Reeves on the Financial Power Hour, talking about the importance of working with the realtor, what to expect through the process, what not to expect, why the apps aren't necessarily the best thing to base your buying decisions on. So as we talked about earlier this year, I want to use the first day of the week, this Tuesday, to give you a live market recap of things, how things are going, just to talk to you about general finances and, all over, to give you an idea of which direction is best for you and your family. So we want to talk about the S&P 500 index. Last week, the S&P 500, let me get my notes over here. It was down over the last 5 business days, 1.74%. So we're still having a choppy start to 2022. If you look at what's happened in 2022 so far, we are down for the year 6.85%. So we're a month and a half in, we're down 6.85%. Why am I telling you this? Because you want to know. You know, by listening to me, I could care less about 5 days or 6 weeks. It's big picture. If we look big picture, so when this year started, January was really, really choppy from the beginning. We were down about 11% in January. If you look at the fact that we are now down less than 7%, you can see that the market is trending upward a little bit. But what I would like to direct your attention to is over the last year, a year ago today to today, we are up 13.62% in the S&P 500. I tell you guys, historically, over the life of the indexes, the S&P 500, the Dow Jones Industrial Average, the broader based large American stock market, with all the dividends reinvested, all the short-term capital gains reinvested, averages slightly above 10%. So we've seen in the last 12 months, 13.62%. What does that mean? It means you're doing okay. Now, also, this is the educational program. So let me say this. You hear a lot of talk about what the market is doing, but if you're listening to me and here on 15 Minutes of Finance Daily, you realize that none of you should be 100% allocated to any particular asset class. That means even good old USA's big stock market, 100% of your money should not be in the S&P 500 or the Dow Jones Industrial Average. As a result, you probably have some type of mixture. Let's say you're 60% stocks, 40% bonds, 75% stocks, 25% bonds, whatever your mixture is. And then even with that mixture in your stock portfolio, you're probably not 100% big US stocks. You may have some small US stocks. You may have some international stocks. And in your international portfolio, you may have some solid, long-standing countries in your portfolio. You may also have some more risky emerging markets. I tell you all of this to say that when you see the markets up 10%, down 15%, whatever the case may be, that doesn't mean that's what your portfolio was doing. Your portfolio should be somewhere diversified, including the large cap United States market. But for my particular portfolio, the large United States stock market only constitutes about 15 to 17%. I'm very well diversified internationally. I have, of course, cryptocurrency in my portfolio. I have some other commodities, a hedge fund. I have various things that I'm invested in to make up my 100% portfolio, and you should be equally as diversified. I want you all to make sure you check out in the comments, in the comments, there is a link to a questionnaire that you can fill out to get more intimate information from me outside of these 15 minutes of finance clips or the financial power hour. Renee puts it into the chat every time we're on here. Also, I want you guys to follow all of our social media. We are at Twitter. We are at Wealth Our Way at Twitter. We're at Wealth Our Way Instagram. We're at Wealth Our Way Facebook. The only place we're different is YouTube. Our new YouTube channel is Wealth Our Way Network. Please go subscribe to that. We're going to be moving more and more content to YouTube, and I want you guys not to miss out. Also, I want to talk to you guys about the Wow Wealth Jumpstart. I've been getting so much, great feedback from people about the Wow Wealth Jumpstart. It's a package we put together at the end of last year, and the Wow Wealth Jumpstart makes sure you have all of your essential estate planning docs. It gets you a simple will, a durable power of attorney, and a healthcare proxy. Those three documents, along with a retirement assessment, so your 401k, 403b. I can't tell you the number of people who inbox me, text me, call me, do whatever, email me, because it's open enrollment or they've switched jobs and they want to make sure all of these mutual funds that they're looking at inside of their 401k or 403b, that they're allocated properly. The Wow Wealth Jumpstart does that assessment. You also get an insurance needs analysis and an insurance review. And then lastly, you get the Wow Wealth portal where you can aggregate all of your finances in one place. The Wow Wealth Jumpstart, we can't keep them on the shelves. If they were a box, there'd be no boxes left on the shelf. People really see the value in it because we're offering it right now for, I want to say $697 if you pay all at once, or 4 payments of $197 if you want to buy it over time. But the Wow Wealth Jumpstart is a great way to start building your financial prowess, making sure that your family is taken care of while you are here, and God forbid if you are not. So I wanted to push that out. With that being said, the actual thing that we've been talking about all month, is the Home Buyers Workshop. I'm in the process of buying a home myself. So you see, I'm shooting from my condo down here in Georgia. I recently moved back to Georgia. If you follow any of my personal social media, you see I'm cooking for the kids, and it's been a great experience, but I need more space. And I put pressure on myself. I tell you guys all the time that you got to have goals. You got to have a plan. And for me, my goal is to be in a home that I've purchased by my birthday, which is June 4th. And I only entered into a 5-month lease when I moved down here with the intent and purpose of making sure I got into a home. So this home buyer workshop process is very personal for me because I am doing all of the things that I'm helping you get an understanding on. I'm dealing with my credit. You guys know that when I got divorced several years ago, I filed bankruptcy. It seemed like a really good idea at the time. It's still a good idea. I stand by it. But it's been a pain in the butt getting myself to being viewed as financially responsible. And I'm a financial planner, but I went from having like an 800 plus credit score to having a credit score under 500. And now I'm hovering right back at 700. But it has been a lot of work to get my credit back where it needs to be because of the bankruptcy, even though I filed it for a strategic reason, not because I was mismanaging money. It doesn't matter. People see what they see on the report. They don't know the story until you get a chance to explain it. And with credit, more often than not, you don't get a chance to explain it. They see a number, they make their decision. So I'm in the process of dealing with credit. I'm in the process of looking for homes, working with a realtor. Almost every day I get emails from these different apps that we're talking about, Trulia, Zillow, Realtor.com, showing me properties. But what you find is that these values aren't necessarily what we think they should be based on the numbers we're seeing. There's a lot of stuff that gets left out. And with this currently being a hot seller's market, me as a buyer, I need to go in armed with a professional. If I'm going to buy a $600,000, $700,000 home, I want to make sure I get a home inspection. There are sellers telling people, nope, no home inspection. You don't have time. We're not giving you the time to get a home inspection. We want to sell this house like this. You got to have somebody fighting on your side. You got to have somebody representing your interests. That is why I do things like the home buyers workshop that we're doing here this month, so that you can get all of this good information. So by all means, besides for our 15 minutes of finance that we're dealing with, please come tomorrow night at 6 p.m. to tune in and hear Diana and me go back and forth, talk, get questions answered about the home buying process. I also want to make sure, as we are coming into the beginning of the year, you guys know April 15th will be here before you know it. Please make sure that you are dealing with your taxes, getting all of your I's dotted, your T's crossed, whether you're working with a professional like a CPA or an EA, which is an enrolled agent, whether you're going to the professionals at the H&R Blocks of the world, or whether you break out TurboTax and do it yourself. Please make sure you are taking advantage of all things in the tax code that can benefit you. Lastly, before we get out of here a minute or two early, because I have a barbershop appointment. This is what happens when your barber switches to a booking app, which I told him to do. I said, hey, man, I think you'd be more proficient if you got a booking app. He told me he didn't want to get a booking app. And then next thing I know, I get a text message saying, hey, your barber's on this booking app. So I book him, and he doesn't confirm the appointment. So I'm coming on here Tuesday, not fresh and clean like I like to normally right out the barber's chair. But he called me, and I'm good for this afternoon. So with that being said, we're going to turn 15 minutes of finance into slightly more than 12 minutes today. I want you guys to all tune in tomorrow night, Wednesday, 6 p.m. I want you guys to make sure you're looking in the comments, or is the comments are over here. Make sure you're looking in the comments and fill out the form so that you can get more information from Wealth Our Way and any of our strategic partners that we're utilizing at this time. And remember, above all else, first and foremost, wealth is not only for the wealthy. You guys have a great